Well, this very first part of disassembling this glorious IRS-5, I wanted to do myself. I certainly am not going to carry it. These are 1.2 tons of speakers, so we don't want to do that because that'll kill me. But I did want to kind of ceremoniously disconnect it. For those of you that aren't familiar with it, this large speaker system, it does have a separate crossover, which normally would have been inside of the base here. But because we modified it, when the designer, Arnie Nudell, was alive, he helped us redesign the crossover with better parts. And so these are the custom crossovers that we, once Arnie helped us with it, we built. Our chief engineer, Bob Stather, did. And you can see there's even a little bit of a custom network out here that I want to be very careful with and disconnect with great care because there's a lot of time and money has gone into this system. And I think is the right word cathartic for me to sort of disconnect this. There you can see the crossover. Ugh. That's, ouch. It's got spikes on it. God bless America. Did I just, yep. Okay, that's going to cause blood to come. I took one for the team. Oh, man. Ouch. And these cables here, by the way, these little cables, yeah. You know, part of the problem of getting old is when you cut yourself and you start bleeding, I hardly ever, I mean, I got to put a Band-Aid on it. It just gets ugly. All right, I'm back. Got my Band-Aid. You know, I just got to tell you, I feel in my head like I'm in my 30s. I still work 12 hours a day. I'm always still amazed by a lot of the engineers here. They're like, oh, I put in 8 hours today. I'm so tired. I got to go home. And I think, what a bunch of wimps. But anyway, that's just me. It's always been that way. But the fact is, I am not in my 30s. No, I am not. In my 70s, but I have learned don't do it twice. So see these spikes on here? They got me last time. Okay, the wings are disconnected. The next thing I'm going to do is start working on the electronics, but I have to make a decision. You know what? I think what I'm going to do is I'll work on the woofers next, and I'll show you that. Okay, hang on. So the original IRS-5 had a Infinity custom, well, it wasn't custom, but we customized it. But it had an Infinity servo box, which was the crossover and the servo, because these were all servo controlled with an accelerometer on the woofers. So as we have used these, we got rid of the woofers, the original Infinity woofers. They were just, you know, my old friend Arnie, who designed these, my former partner in Genesis, never believed in spending much money on woofers. I pushed him for years when we were at Genesis to get some good cast frame baskets, big excursion woofers that had low distortion, which we could have bought, but they were expensive. And Arnie was like, nope, no need to spend money on that because the servo will correct for any of the problems. And he was right. The servo corrected the distortion. It corrected quite a bit. But my philosophy has always been, why not start out with the good stuff in the first place? And instead of using correction to fix that, which you didn't need to. Different philosophies, I never could get through to them. But anyway, now that they're ours, we went ahead and changed all the woofers to some really just bitchin' woofers. And then we rebuilt the amplifier section, because that's the other thing. Back in the day, the technical limitation of amplifiers was such that in order to, to deliver the, what was it, 1,200 watts of power that these beasts needed at the time with that accelerometer. Back in the, they had to build this giant power amp, and it was a fan-driven device that had rows and rows of transistors. I mean, the thing was driving all of them in parallel at 1 ohm. So what we did is when we put the new drivers in, we built an all-new piece of electronics here. And here we have 6 separate 1,000-watt Class D amplifiers. Now, Class D amps are very quick and frankly sound, for woofers anyway, they sound a lot better than the original 1 ohm Class B, AB amplifier that was in here. So those are the modifications that we had done. And so now I'm going to disconnect it. And it connects simply with an XLR cable. There's a little trigger jack to turn it on, and of course the 110 volt power. And she is disconnected. Now, one thing that we did is we eliminated the crossover, the servo crossover, because we don't have servos, don't need them anymore, because we went the other direction. We went with a low distortion, high compliance, long excursion woofers, and we used DSP to shape it, the bass response, to the room. And boy, I mean, what a difference. But all right, woofers are disconnected, wings are disconnected. I think for now I'm going to leave the equipment here so I don't have to go crazy when we put the new FR30s in, but that's it. And I'm going to go get the boys down in shipping, and you can watch us take this apart. Okay, see you in a little bit.